Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Luke Judges, Partner Director at Ripple, and more specifically, RippleX. RippleX is a business unit that's designed to support the open source technology of the XRP Ledger, but also create the conditions for builders to really succeed in the ecosystem. Today, I want to talk a little bit about programmable infrastructure, and what I think that'll unlock for building with real-world assets and DeFi to really unlock the 130 trillion market opportunity. So today, the crypto-native ecosystem is $120 billion of TVL. That's mainly driven by use cases such as perps, over-collateralized lending, and even prediction markets. I think that's a fantastic start, but $100 billion growing at 40% CAGR is just a start. If we look out and we zone out a little bit, BCG predict that by 2033, we'll be looking at $19 trillion of assets on chain. So that's over 100, I think it's 150x growth just over the next 5-6 years. And that's a pretty impressive growth curve that we're seeing already. We're seeing that with assets like tokenized money market funds. We're seeing that with assets such as bonds and even real estate. So we know there's a lot of growth, but if you zoom out even further, the global credit market, and if you look at the financial system as a whole, is $130 trillion, which is another 100x. So we've got a 1,000x market. This isn't a linear growth curve as well. I know the pies are growing it looks relatively small here. This is a rocket ship taking off to the moon, right? We're in the best industry, changing traditional finance now. This is one of the biggest opportunities in the market, and it's the best place to work. Crypto is here to stay. But there is a little bit of a problem unlocking some of those assets on chain. So I think we specifically have seen this in Ripple for a number of years, right? Ripple started over a decade ago, and it was built really to unlock some of those financial use cases, such as payments and also some of the native financial primitives that are built directly in the protocol of the XRP Ledger. And traditional financial rails are rigid. They're not composable. But that changes when you want to bring them on chain, and we're seeing that already. We've come across that problem statement. So real-world assets, when you bring them on chain, it becomes a full-stack problem. It becomes a problem that you need a number of solutions for. So for compliance, you need KYC. For yield, you need on-chain smart contracts to generate that yield. For liquidity, you need to be able to aggregate liquidity across, I don't know how many Ethereum chains there is today, guys, but I'm sure there's a ton, maybe 1,000. And you need to be able to tap into that liquidity across all of these chains very quickly, and you need to be able to settle extremely fast. So we've learned that DeFi needs flexible coordination, not just tokens. It needs structure to unlock trust. It needs to be settled on time, and there needs to be terms to unlock that liquidity. So I'll just quickly give a brief overview, because I don't know how many people in this room today are familiar with the XRP Ledger ecosystem. The XRPL, as I said, was built for financial use cases on day one, and it has been for over a decade. It's robust. It has protocol-level financial primitives built into the chain from day one, such as the DEX, the AMM. There's an upcoming lending protocol, all built directly into the chain and accessible via a set of simple APIs. The block times are fast. It settles in around 3.5 seconds. It's cheap. It settles for a fraction of a cent. And it's secure. It's never been breached in over 13 years. Now, I think that's pretty impressive considering the technology was first developed over a decade ago. But there's problems. No one can deny that the XRPL is not particularly programmatic. And even David Schwartz, our CTO, said he didn't believe that Vitalik would get Turing-complete smart contracts working as efficiently as he did. And it was impressive even back then, but we're understanding that we're facing some of these challenges. When these assets want to come on chain, they need flexibility, they need liquidity, and it needs to be interoperable across these chains. So how are we solving for that in the XRP Ledger ecosystem? We're doing this on a two-pronged approach. We have the XRP Ledger mainnet, which we know and love. That's obviously our core bread and butter. And it runs on XRPL consensus. It uses XRP as a native gas token, and we maintain the RippleD client. We also have a number of XRPL explorers supporting the ecosystem. The second one, which I think is probably more exciting for the audience here, is the XRP Ledger EVM sidechain. Now, this released on Monday. I would have loved to reveal it on stage here, but our comms team clearly wanted to front run me. It uses the XRP gas token, the XRP asset as a native gas token, which brings XRP as a 130 billion market cap token. It's blue chip, it's highly available across crypto, and it brings that with the flexibility of the Ethereum OS. And we chose to use a Cosmos stack because we believed it unlocks a high degree of programmability and flexibility. I'll dig in a little bit about what both of these look like and the approaches we're taking now. So, as I said, the Ethereum sidechain is now live. I'd like a round of applause, please, or we're coming to join you. Thank you. I mentioned it uses the proof of authority consensus. It uses XRP as a gas token and the EVM OS client, but it also has a number of the developer tooling that all of you are used to. So Solidity, Hardhat, MetaMask, support right out of the bat. We have a number of partners that are building with us on the Ethereum sidechain today. We have Axelar that's unlocking interoperability across 80+ chains, which I think is really important because the XRP Ledger has basically been an island and unknown to the rest of crypto for over 13 years. And we've also got other interoperability partners coming soon. So Wormhole will be next. There may even be more. And I think this is sending a message to the market that XRP and the XRPL has for long been an island away from the rest of crypto. I think we want to come and be a part of and be on the table with you guys and really build for the future of financial institutions. And we're positioned very well in the market for that. We've got a number of application partners going live that are cross-chain first. So we've got Vertex joining us, which is a perps platform. We've got Strobe, which is a lending platform, and Squid, which is aggregating liquidity across a number of chains. If you're a developer, infrastructure partners are also really mature. We have Grove, which is operational on a number of chains to provide RPC endpoints. We have GoldSky for indexing data. We have Band Protocol for Oracle services, and BlockScout for our Explorer on EVM sidechain. As I say, I think this is going to be a really powerful unlock because it brings XRP and the XRPL closer to the Ethereum ecosystem and the composability and interoperability that it provides. So we're not just stopping there, though, in terms of programmability. We still believe that the native protocol, having the functionality and the financial primitives built into the native protocol is important for integration with these financial institutions. They really want to interact with a set of really simple APIs. And the WASM virtual machine approach that we're doing to expand the functionality of our native protocol is really important. We're introducing a new framework spearheaded by my colleague Mayuka that's called extensions. These extensions enhance the financial primitives that are built into the chain and make them more smart. So they provide a different ability of business logic for the existing protocol features that have been baked in for over a decade. We're also exploring full Turing-complete smart contracts on the XRP Ledger ecosystem today. So what's first? First of all, we'll be looking at the smart escrow. The escrow service has been around for a long time, but the core primitives baked into the chain are relatively simple. So they're good for time-based and conditional payments, the escrow service, because it was built for payments use cases. But we think with Rust availability on the escrow, we can unlock a ton more custom logic, unlock different use cases such as options or a variety of different ways that we can unlock and move money across the ecosystem. And the escrow is one option, but we're already seeing and attracting builders come to both chains, right? So we have Ondo Finance, who many of you probably know, issuing tokenized US treasuries on the XRP Ledger, fully redeemable with Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. So we're building a ever-ending cycle for liquidity to move and flow freely across both money market funds, stablecoins, and other financial assets. We're also attracted Vertex to build on the EVM sidechain, where you can use Zaman Wallet, which is the most popular wallet in the XRP Ledger ecosystem, to input directly into the EVM sidechain and provide liquidity and trade perps platforms. So what's next on the XRP Ledger? We have more applications live on the EVM sidechain. We're waiting for some of these traditional financial applications. We also anticipate and invite you all to come and build on the EVM sidechain. And there's a message that Ripple is here to support builders that want to come and explore the XRPL EVM sidechain as well as the XRP Ledger. I think it's an interesting technology stack that most people haven't explored. I actually came from the Solana ecosystem beforehand. That might be unpopular here, but I really was impressed with the technology, considering it's over a decade old, how quick and how fast, how cheap and how secure and how simple it is to interact with the XRP Ledger. We're also exploring native programmability, as I said, so that's next, and interoperability. We are really passionate about stopping the XRP ecosystem from being a bridge, from being an island away from the rest of crypto. We're here to welcome you all into the community. So if you want to come and build on the XRP Ledger today, you can scan this QR code, and we're here to support you. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.